okay? Sneeze. I tried to hit the mute. I wasn't fast enough. Hello, chat. Hello. Can everybody hear me okay? Alright, so it looks like you can hear me. Alright, so let's turn the camera on. If I can find it. Camera. There you go. Okay. I'm out of focus. I'm scared to touch the camera because it was giving me so much trouble. And the lighting's all off, but I need the light over there to see what I'm doing. The volume's a bit low because the music. Okay, I will turn the music volume down. I don't want to mess with that. Where's the actual music volume? Okay, is that better or is that still too loud? I am talking while the music is playing. Does it sound better? Blah blah blah. I've turned the actual music down rather than OBS's volume, because I really like OBS's volume where it is. Okay. Alright. So that music's just going to be playing, mainly because there's going to be a lot of times where I'm not talking. Alright, so, hey you guys, pardon me, I am somewhat, not in the zone right now, but I was putting together a new computer, this bad boy, which you guys, this is thanks to you guys. This is all thanks to the earnings I got from Patreon and YouTube and whatnot, blah 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 blah. And I was trying to wait till I went full time on my YouTube channel before I invested anything on the channel. But 2021 is going to be a heavy year of changes for me. The music's still a bit loud. Okay, I'll turn it down some more. The music stopped. Hold on, let me turn it. Okay, yeah. Alright, there we go. So, now I can't see chat. There we go. So, what I was saying was, basically, I'm building this here thing, and this right here, I was gonna wait till I was going full time on YouTube before I invested anything into the channel. But 2021 is going to be a year of heavy changes for me, and I basically had to get started on this. If you guys don't know, all the videos I've been making recently, and I know the lighting is bad, but I had to move the light from its usual spot to over there because I need to see what I'm doing. But if you guys don't know, all the videos I've been making have been on this laptop, which is what I'm streaming on right now. And it's got 8 gigs of RAM in this laptop, and that's not good for an editing PC. So I've been doing the best I can with this laptop, but it's way past time for an update on it's way past time for an update, and I've got this this PC. Now the problem is I built this PC, which is what you're supposed to do with computers. You want to make sure you get the best one. You build it, or at the very least you look at the specs. But I spent all day yesterday building it, and it has some problems. So I was like, I need to be working on videos, but I want to get this done first. So I guess I'll do it live stream, and then I'll see if anybody in the audience maybe has something. Why is my phone going off? Go away. I'll see if maybe the internet has something to offer. So if anybody has any advice, please let me know. I'm going to be working on this. But let me show you what I'm dealing with here. So this is a Fantex tower. Eclipse 600S Fantex tower. So it's hard to see. Let me move the light. This lamp has also been here for quite some time. Pretty much all my videos where my camera is up, this lamp has been the lighting for it. And I really need to invest in a new lamp because this one keeps falling over. The base is pretty much destroyed, so I have to like put it just right if I want to see anything. Yeah, see, if I let go, it's starting to fall over, and I'm very scared it's going to fall on the computer. But, so, I've gotten everything together. Let me move it over a little bit so you can see a little bit more. I got everything together. The motherboard's in there. The CPU's in there. CPU fan's in there. Blah, 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 blah. Turn it on. Look at all that. Lights up. Fans spin. You can't see the fans on the graphics card, but they're spinning as well. So, it's all on. All seems to be working. There's two problems. One, the fans of the tower are not working. You see back here, they're not working. Even though I'm pretty sure I have them plugged up into the motherboard. So that's bad for air intake. My stuff can overheat. And 2, more importantly, got my monitor here. The BIOS isn't showing up. That's very bad. That's very bad. What GPU do you have? I have Ryzen 3900X. 3900X. I've checked the compatibility of all my parts, and they're compatible, supposedly, according to sources, trusted websites that other people have sent me to, and other people online, blah, blah, blah. So the BIOS is just not showing up. What I've tried doing is I've tried unplugging and replugging everything back in. Didn't work. I've tried resetting the whatchamacallit. I can't remember what the name of it is off the top of my head. The CMOS. I've cleared the CMOS with I used a screwdriver. Held it there for I did that twice. Held it there for 20 seconds. Still didn't work. So the fact that the BIOS isn't showing up, I think that could mean either something's going on with the motherboard, or something's going on with either the motherboard, the cable, or the CPU. Those are the 3 things that because the BIOS isn't showing up at all. So firstly, does the HDMI cable work? Yes, I tested the HDMI cable. I've tested the the monitor. This isn't actually a monitor. This is just a TV. But my actual monitor, I thought was in its box. I had a lot of equipment that's been in storage for a while, and it's been moved around several times. My monitor was one of them. I thought it was in its box. Apparently, it got misplaced during one of the moves, so I have to go get a different monitor. So for now, I'm using this TV. The motherboard is probably damaged. That is a possibility. I really don't want it to be that, because that means I'm gonna have to wait for another one to come in, which is really annoying. I wanted all this to be done by New Year's. I mean, even if this gets done, you guys probably won't see the results until like February or March, because I got a bunch of videos I'm working on, and trying to work on them on this computer will actually be more of a hassle, because I gotta move everything from this laptop to this computer, including like editing software and whatnot. Is the cable plugged in the correct spot? I plugged the cable into all 3 ports of HDMI ports in the computer, and it doesn't work. Does the board have an onboard spot for HDMI? I don't know what you mean by onboard. And before anybody makes fun of me for, if you know my major in college was computer science. Computer science is programming. It is software. It's not hardware. They actually teach you the different components of a computer when you take computer science. At least at the schools I did, they taught it. But since then, I haven't had to build a computer. Like, I had to take one apart to install a power supply and a graphics card. But this is my first time like building a computer. The motherboard. Some have HDMI ports if you have no video card. Yeah. I plugged it into. First, I did the video card, and I was like, well, it's probably reading directly from the motherboard. So I did both the ports in the motherboard, because the motherboard has 2 HDMI ports. Neither of them worked. I'm a computer technician. I just take it apart and put it back together. Well, that's the whole thing. I built this, and I put it back together. And the things I haven't tried that it could possibly be, it's just the CPU's not in correctly, which is annoying because I'll have to take all this out. Oh, and I hate plugging those stupid cords back in. But I haven't tried that. I haven't tried the RAM. I don't think it's the RAM. The RAM shouldn't stop the BIOS from popping up, but I haven't tried the RAM. And there was one more thing I hadn't tried. That I was going to try, but I can't remember. Oh, I haven't tried taking the battery out of the motherboard, because in this motherboard, the battery's covered by the heat thing. So it's hard to get to. So if I want to take the battery out, I have to take the thing all the way out. But that's the same thing with CPU. So with if I'm going to do the CPU, I'm going to do the battery at the same time. Is it CPU with pins or one of the newer flat-faced one? It has pins on it, yeah. It's a Ryzen 3900X. Which somebody recommend. I was asking somebody, should I get Intel or Ryzen? They recommended me Intel, and I got Ryzen anyway. I wasn't ignoring their advice, but all the research I did, just for an editing computer, so many places said that Ryzen is better for editing. You sure you didn't bend any pins? I didn't touch the pins, so I'm pretty sure I didn't. Like, I never touched the pins on the CPU. I put that CPU in, it fell nice and flat, closed the thing, and then I put the fan on. I'm so glad that you guys like know what I'm asking, because I was scared that I was gonna be on here like, hey, can anybody help me? And then people were gonna be like, we don't know what's going on, Shady. I'm pretty sure I didn't do any of the bend any of the pins. I didn't touch the pins. Thankfully, I do have the CPU is what's it called? Not insured, but I can't think of the right word. But basically, where if something bad happens, they replace it. I have that for 3 years for the CPU. If the BIOS isn't showing up, it sounds like your motherboard is screwed up. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm scared of. But another thing just to take into consideration is that the tower fans are not working. Like this one back here, this is the tower fan. I have the tower fans plugged in. It does sound like the motherboard is just screwed up. I'm very scared of that being what's wrong though. Plus, it's like Christmas time, so I can't really get that like confirmed until after. Can you post the specs? I mean, I can tell you what they are. I don't know where I would post them. Shouldn't be too hard or long if you've done it before. Really, this is most likely a motherboard or CPU issue. Again, I just take it apart and put it back together. Yeah, that's what I was planning on doing. I just wanted to check the chat really quick to see if anybody had any. Oh, Shady, it's so obvious you clearly didn't plug this cable in before I did that. Because clearly, if the BIOS isn't showing up, it's either the motherboard or the CPU. It's got to be one of those two. So the only thing to do is take it apart. I don't want to take it apart. The thing is, I have really big hands. And it's so hard to get those things plugged in. Oh my goodness. Have you tried the fans that are not working into the pin slots of the currently working fans? I have not tried that. That is a good... I should do that. Yeah, that's a good point. I should try that. Because the fan has... The motherboard has 3 fan slots. Which I was very happy with. One was already taken by the onboard fan that they put in the heat sink or whatever it's called. And of course there's a CPU fan, and then there was one extra one. I was like, great, I can use that for the tower fans. But they just don't work. So it looks like everybody's saying the same thing. I just gotta take it apart, put it back together again, which I kind of knew already. I mean, while I'm doing that, I might as well take the RAMs out and put them back in. I'm pretty sure, if it's the BIOS, it shouldn't be the RAMs. But I just want to do that just to say I did. And I have to take the battery out, but I'm pretty sure the battery's covered by that heatsink thing. Which is annoying, because I don't know how to, well, I got the manual right here. It should tell me how to take it off. A weak PSU might not power the system completely. I had a similar issue. It can also be the RAM try without each one. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do first is the RAM, because I think I can take the... Again, you got... The camera quality, it probably doesn't show it, but I have big hands, and it's hard for me to reach in. I mean, anybody who's worked with computers probably knows this, but like it's just hard for me to reach in there and unplug and plug up some of this stuff. So I think I'll go ahead and try the RAM, because I could do that really quick. That I can do really quick. Turn that off. We'll see what happens. I was told all my specs match each other. I looked these up multiple times. I wanted to make sure I got the right stuff. I was told all of them do go with each other, so unplug you. I'll turn it off first. Remember, kids, get rid of that static electricity before you do anything. Alright, so let us... Can I just take the RAM off from here? Just take one out. Shouldn't... It's the RAM slots. It shouldn't be that hard. Okay. Alright, so here's one. So now we'll try it with that one. Oh, the tediousness. Come back here, plug it up. Turn it on. Alright, one RAM is out. And we will wait and see. Yeah, one I said trying each component individually into a working PC is the best method, even if it takes the longest. Yeah, and I was doing this all day yesterday, and it was getting late last night, and I got real sleepy. I was like, I need to try with a fresh mind. And today I started up just a couple hours ago because I wanted to do this fresh because I didn't want to get too frustrated. But yeah, I was like, hey, maybe I can stream it. Maybe my chat will know what's going on. I can tell you this motherboard is an X571 Aorus Pro Wi-Fi. The motherboard was the hardest thing to research. Oh, okay, my camera lagged for a little. This right here, that lag, that's why I need a tower. Because I really want to stream. That's one of the reasons why I need a tower. Because I really want to stream. And this laptop, I can't stream and do anything else. just turn it off and turn it back on. I've done that multiple times. So I'm just waiting a couple minutes because some motherboards, their BIOS do take a couple minutes to boot up. So I'm just making sure that's not the case. It doesn't look like it. Okay, so I think we waited long enough. Just turn it off. Unplug it, drain it, plug the other one back in, blah blah blah. Always fun. Why are my screws open? Got my screw box back here. The box was open. I already dropped something today. I'm very scared that's gonna happen again. I'm trying hard not to drop stuff. I cleaned this office, so I was like, my new desktop deserves a clean office. And now it's messy again because all the boxes are on the floor from the freaking components. Can I get this other one, please? Can I get this other one, please? Yeah, I can't see. Hold on. Oh, I was just at Walmart. I should have bought a magnifying glass. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna plug. It doesn't matter, but I'll plug the other one back into the other one. And let's not put that on the blanket anymore because that could damage the pins. This should be the right way, right? Correct. The gap in the right spot. It's facing the same way as earlier. All this stuff's so doggone fragile. I'm always scared I'm gonna break something. Hold on, I'm gonna set this on this side. Put this down, because again, I'm always scared I'm gonna break something to freaking Why is all this junk here? Move! I've had this system on a blanket. I really don't like it being on a blanket. It's a good way to get dust in the battery. And it's recommended while you do this stuff, you do it on a soft surface, and then when you're done, you put it on your hard surface. Okay, that's why it wouldn't go in. That bit was annoying. Snap in, please. I'm always scared I'm gonna break the RAM. Just snap in. There we go. Okay, so before I start this, let me ask to anybody who knows. Do I need... What was that? Oh, that was the monitor. Do I need the SAT things, the SAT things? Because I don't have a plug for them. And a lot of the tutorials are like plug in your SAT things for your hard drives, and I'm like, well, I don't have a traditional hard drive. I have a whatchamacallit? Where's the box at? It's like the smallest box. I can't find it. All my stuff is right. Oh, there it is. I have a SSD. If you have an X571, yeah, the SATA cables, yeah, because I have an SSD. I don't have a traditional hard drive. So I believe the SATA cables are for a traditional hard drive, but I don't see any plugs that go into them. And I'm like, do I need these if I don't have a traditional hard drive? Yeah, if it's an internal drive, you need SATA cables. Where do they come from? The power source? Because I'm not seeing them on my power source. I mean, I'm seeing some that look like SATA cables, but they're too big. Like this. You guys can't see that. Every drive should have a power slot and a SATA slot. Okay, so I have an SSD plugged into the back of my motherboard. So, which slot is the slot for that one? For the SSD? Is it slot 0? In which case, that might be the problem. Should have 6 to 10 spots or so. No, I've only got 4. Okay, so I'm scared to touch my camera because I touched it earlier and it immediately became unplugged. So, if your SSD looks like a microchip, it is the NVMe M2 drive. Those you don't need cables. This is the SSD. It's this one. So I got plugged into the back, and I thought it just got power. And I saw that the SATA cables were there, and I was like, "That's for traditional hard drives, isn't it? It's not for SSDs that you plug in." So I just plugged mine into the back of the. I plugged mine in and screwed it into the back of the motherboard. Now let me go ahead and test this while they have time to boot up. When I was looking up all the components I needed for a computer, the first video I went to was like, get an SSD, don't get a traditional hard drive, because they're much faster. And then I looked up a bunch of videos, and most of them pretty much said the same thing. Is that you can have a traditional, but the SSDs are faster, so get an SSD as your main one, and if you want more, you can get more. Turn this on. I doubt it's the RAM, but turn it on. Yeah, you should be fine then. Okay, that's what I figured. That's what I figured. Yeah, yours might use the PCI E slots or whatever. It's newer. Okay, see, that's what I figured. Plus, it would suck because, as far as I can see, the SATA things on here are not like the same size as the ones on my motherboard. So again, I'm just giving it time to boot up. Where's my other RAM slot? Okay, I really need to be more careful with this stuff. Don't need this stuff getting damaged. Happy holidays to everyone, by the way. Nice of y'all to come spend y'all Christmas Eve helping me out. Probably not gonna boot up. Which means I gotta take it apart, put it back. I've taken this thing apart so many times, put it back together again so many times. At the very least, I will be experienced with how a computer works. So, once my mom or my sister calls me over for my help, I'll be able to actually tell them what they need to know. I do want to try that fan thing that somebody mentioned. I had a similar issue. I had to remove just the GPU and reinstall it. That's probably the GPU. Never mind. I've removed the GPU so many times to get to other stuff. So I know it's not GPU. GPU to me is just like the coolest part of the computer. It just looks so freaking cool. Even though I got that AMD fan spinning a bunch of different colors. Different slots again. I'm putting it in the second slot now, just so you guys can see that no, it is not appearing. And again, I did hard boot the BIOS. The BIOS. That's not what it's called. I did hard boot the what's that called? The CMOS, there you go. I did hard boot it, but I didn't remove the battery because there's something blocking the battery. So that's why I gotta take it out. I gotta take it out, get the battery, and I gotta take it out, get to the CPU. Fun times. Your main problem is probably just a broken motherboard. I've gotten 2 new broken ones before. One being X570, a slightly older version of yours. Yeah, that's just what I'm afraid of. It's just I can't confirm that until like after the holidays. So I was really hoping I would get on here and somebody would be like, "Oh, Shady, you silly goose! It's just this cable you haven't plugged in." All right, so I'm pretty sure we can say it's not the RAM. Or I got 2 bad RAM slots or 2 bad RAM sticks. Let's turn you off. Alright, turn you off. Plug. Shady, why are you unplugging it every time you do it? Well, I'm glad you asked that, dear viewer. It's because it's very dangerous to work on a computer without getting rid of the static electricity. So I might as well leave the other RAM slot off. It'll just get in my way. But I'm putting it over here where it can't cause trouble. First, I'm getting a GPU out. Put this over here. I've taken this doggone GPU out so many times. Well, I'm taking this whole thing, like, I've taken it slightly out a lot. But once those power cables went in, I didn't want to take it all the way out anymore. So I was just, especially those freaking tiny ones that belong to the tower, like, screw those, man. Alright, I can't really approach it from a proper angle. I was freaking out yesterday because this screw right here is the perfect size for taking out the GPU screws. This screwdriver right here, this component. Like, I have a bunch of them, and some of them like I can use, but this is the perfect one. And because it comes out, I left it in the screw, and I was trying to find it, and I was just tripping. I was like, "Come on, man! I just need this one thing so I can take out this stupid GPU." I always take out the wrong one. The third one looks like it's holding in the GPU, but it's not. It's just the first two. So I'm gonna unscrew that. If it works without the GPU, that's the first thing. Stay organized, peeps. You should not have to disconnect the tiny power cables. They won't make a difference. Well, I gotta take... I guess I could take... Yeah, I could probably take it off without... I was gonna say, I gotta take the fan off and they're gonna be in the way. Not necessarily. They might not necessarily be in the way. Get to here, which I cannot. Where's my phone? I meant to, while I was at Walmart, buy a small light so I could see what's going on in here, and a magnifying glass, but I completely forgot. Walmart's closed now. Well, it's going to close in like 30 minutes. There we go. That's actually perfect. There we go. Get that screw. I'm always scared that my screwdrivers are magnified. These aren't. I tested them. I'm always scared that they are, though, because they make those magnetized screwdrivers. I had one for like years, for like 6 to 8 years or something. It's what I use for everything. And then I would have to unscrew my computer. I'm like, oh snap, it's a magnet. Wait. Alright, so let's get this out. GPU. Oh, you're so sexy. I'm scared something's going to happen to you. Get that switch. Get that switch. Turn around that switch. Move it over and pitch. Why can I not reach this? I've never had trouble getting this thing out. Why am I having trouble now? It's because I'm streaming. It's like video games. Once you start streaming, everything goes wrong. Switch. Oh, because That's why. I was pushing the wrong thing. I couldn't tell. I thought the cartridge that holds it is yellow, but the actual switch to get it out is black. So I couldn't see it because it was in shadow. There we go. Alright. Now I'm putting you somewhere. Oh, I still got the power cords. Give me. I'm always scared I'm gonna like break the fans. Because my hands naturally want to hold it on the fans. And I can't touch the freaking... Come on, come out. I can't touch the freaking prong things, whatever they call the cartridge part of it. Come on. Push, and then hold. There we go. That was scary. Okay, so I'm just going to move this over here, away from the edge. Okay. Did the motherboard come with one of those things that you can plug into the onboard pins that beeps to tell you the issue? If it did, I wouldn't know. I don't think so. Hold on, the motherboard did come with some stuff. But that's not the motherboard box. That's the GPU box. Okay, so is this a manual? Yeah, it is. It's the battery manual. I have all the manuals set aside in case I need them. I guess I just haven't had issues with the battery yet. Alright, motherboard. The motherboard has Wi-Fi, so it came with this. I think this is the Wi-Fi antenna, but you're supposed to plug that in after, I believe. I honestly don't know what it is. It came with this cable, which it says is a GRB. It's supposed to be RGB. GRB, what's that plug into? I don't know what that plugs into. If y'all know what this stuff is, please tell me, because I don't know. I was following a tutorial on how to put computers together, and they didn't mention this stuff. And I don't know what this is. Hold on, the manual should tell me what the motherboard came with. I don't think it will work without the GPU. The 3900 does not have an onboard GPU, so the HDMI port on the motherboard is a dead port. Wait, what? Wait. The 3900 does not have an onboard GPU, so the HDMI port on the motherboard is a dead port. Both of them? That's interesting. How many slots does my GPU have? 2, right? Yeah, it has 2. Well, now that you said that, I kind of want to test the, because originally I had it plugged into the GPU, but I looked inside and some of the wires were plugged incorrectly. But I'm pretty sure I tested it without the GPU. But you know what? Let's test it. I do want to test it, even though I just took the GPU. Why is this manual here? I just said I want to keep everything away from the GPU. Alright, so let's test it. Put the GPU back in. I have to do everything slowly because I'm scared I'm going to break something. Go in for me, please. There we go, clicked in. I don't have to screw these in every time, especially since I'm just going to take it out, but I feel like I should. I should only have to screw them in when I'm ready, but... I never have a problem taking it out, but I do have a problem screwing it back in for some reason. Screws never want to line up properly. I screw it in, you might bend the socket if you let it hang. Yeah. screw. I mean, if this is the case, I can live with that because I only need 2 monitors. Well, I want 3 monitors, but I'm probably only going to start with 2. So I haven't unplugged anything else, right? Oh, the RAM. Let me get the other RAM in there, just in case. I think I'll set it on its side. I'm just having such a hard time seeing it. Screwdriver, move before you break something. Nothing break. Just in case you guys didn't hear me the first time, thank you very much, because this is made possible by you guys that I could get this computer. I got this via my YouTube earnings. I'm putting it straight back to YouTube stuff, so we can do some cool projects. I really want to stream more with you guys, but like I said, with this laptop that I'm using, I can't do anything while I stream. So it's just so boring. Alright, back up. Lovely. Alright, so I'm going to plug in this to the GPU. Again, I originally had it in the GPU. But I noticed some wires were plugged incorrectly after I did that. And I was like, I'm just going to leave it in the motherboard just in case. The monitor just turned off. Come on. Come on. Alright. What's the video card? Radeon 580. I honestly don't know why I got it. I did a lot of research on these parts, and they were like, the people I saw said they were good parts. I went to a bunch of different places. Alright, so it should be on. Turn on, please. Yep, there it goes, booting up. And I once again forgot to plug in the GPU. Turn off. Yeah, I always forget to do that step. I'm just like, oh, it's plugged into the motherboard. It should be good. Turn off, I said. Alright, now it's plugged. Go. Alright. So y'all can see the camera is in such an awkward position. Oh! Oh my goodness! The BIOS! Oh, I love you guys. Oh my goodness. Oh, the BIOS. I was so sad when the BIOS didn't pop up. I was working on it for hours yesterday. Good gravy. I'm just so freaking happy. Oh, see, I knew it. I knew somebody was going to be like, hey, there's this common sense thing that you don't know about, Shady. All right, so that's lesson learned. So the HDMI port on the all right, so if you get a Ryzen 3900X, the HDMI port on your motherboard, or at least on a 570, is probably going to be useless. Not use Linux. All right, so the only thing left is the fan, the tower fans, and as someone suggested, I should. I'm just so. You guys don't understand. I'm just so happy, man. I was working on this for so long yesterday. Oh. You may need to install Windows 10. My motherboard is an X570. It didn't allow the USB slots to work until I installed Windows 10. One of my USB slots will not work because one of the front ones, because it has a I think it's a 3.1 or 3.0, one of them, and my motherboard has one slot for 3.1, but the other slot's for 2.0. So one of them is not going to be working. But I'm fine because I got plenty in the back, and I have a multi USB thing, so that's fine. So the only thing left is the fans, but at least it's booted. At least it's booted. Oh man, I'm so happy. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank everyone. You guys, it's just been real helpful. But I especially do want to thank the person who suggested that the port might not work on the motherboard, because I originally plugged it into the GPU and it didn't work. And I opened it, I was like, oh look, this power thing is incorrect. But I'm going to plug it into the motherboard first, because that's probably where it's going to boot up anyway, just in case. Just keep an eye on your temps. Yeah, that's why I gotta fix these fans. Hopefully it's not just a faulty fan port. Or hopefully it's not a faulty fan port, because that's still technically the motherboard's not working. In which case, what's an alternative way to plug in a fan? Does anybody know? Because my motherboard only has 3 ports, and the other 2 ports are being used up. Download Specky by Pureform later. It'll show temps if you can't get the fans working. I will take that into consideration. I gotta make sure I got comment replay on. Is at least one fan working? Not inside the tower. The fans on the motherboard are both working. The one that spins a little bit just to test it and then it stops, that one turned on. The GPU fans are working. And of course you can see the CPU fan is working. Getting your PC going. I just subbed because I watched your John Redcorn and Bill vids and love your message. Also try fan splitters. Fan splitters. Okay. Also use MSI Afterburner. It overclocks and underclocks GPUs. I'm not too familiar with overclocking and underclocking. That came up a lot. Well, overclocking. That's the first time I hear of underclocking. But overclocking came up a lot when I was doing research, and I don't really intend to overclock unless I need, because that seems like something that like serious gamers use. I'm not really going to be seriously gaming. I'm going to be streaming while I'm gaming. So maybe that might be something, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to have to do more research in overclocking. I want to move it over so you guys can see it in all of its glory. So I put so much work and research into this. I'm about to move the camera. I'm scared to touch it because every time I touch it, bad things happen to it. Underclocking can help lower temperatures. Okay, I'll look more into it. Like I said, you guys probably, I won't probably be working on this for videos until like February or March, but I really wanted to get it going so I could start dealing with it. The stuff I got a couple videos that I want to come out December, but it's the 25th, so they're probably not gonna come out till January. So and I gotta work on those like immediately. So I'm so happy with this. I can move on with my life. I just gotta get these fans working. Fan splitters. Okay. That's good. Alright, so now we can just have a nice, calm chat. If anybody wants to ask me anything, we can go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and... I want to leave it on, but I have a soft surface on the desk because they said when you're putting it together, use a soft surface. But because it's soft surface, it's like it's carpet-like. It's very bad for the battery. It's going to get dust and stuff, so I'm going to turn it off. But yeah, if anybody wants to go ahead and ask me some questions while we're here, I know a lot of people tend to want to do that during live streams. You can go ahead. And I will gladly oblige. You guys help me out so much. I'm so thankful for you guys as being my audience. I was already like, I don't know if anybody's even gonna know what's going on and be able to help me. And you guys just came in like, oh yeah, don't worry, Shady, we got you. And then not only that, you figured out what was going on. That was... Oh, I'm so thankful for you guys. As long as you keep the sides open and don't have your PC in the corner of the room, temp should stay fine. Okay, that's something to consider. What is your favorite death battle? That is a good question. What is my favorite death battle? I can tell you my least favorite death battle. My least favorite death battle is Gara versus Toph, because that was a horrible death battle. Gara versus Toph is the only death battle I know. I 100% knew both characters, and I was like, well, this is a landslide, both literally and figuratively, for Gara. And they got so much wrong with Toph. It was utterly ridiculous how much they got wrong with Toph. My favorite death battle, though, that is a difficult one, because there are a lot of death battles I like. Some of them, even if I don't necessarily agree, I think they're just really well done. Like, off the top of my head, I really like Might Guy versus All Might. I also really like Goku. It's probably Goku versus Superman, to be honest with you. Even though the animation has improved since then. Goku versus Superman, and again, they got a lot of information wrong in that one, but they just put so much, they did so much research in that one and put so much time and effort into the actual fight. It was really good. And the voice actor of Superman is just some random guy, and if you've never heard of him, he does really, really good comic videos using just action figures. Like, he's told some of the best comic book stories I've ever seen. I love his After Hours series that he did. The Spider-Man one's particularly my favorite. It has one of the most funny scenes I've ever seen on YouTube. Yeah, check out It's Just Some Random Guy if you haven't. Sorry if it's annoying, but would you consider doing voice acting? I'm not sure why that would be annoying. Did you ask that question already and I just didn't see it? If so, what character would you want to portray? I would love to try my hand at voice acting. I love doing funny voices. I just don't know how good I would necessarily... Okay, so... I think I would be decently good at voice acting, because I've done some pretend voices in the past when I did Let's Plays, and I thought, personally, I was pretty funny, but I would have to have somebody judge me on that aspect. I would probably like to play... I would like to play my regular voice, but I would also like to do goofy voices. Because I've seen enough voice actors where if they can't change their voice enough, people say, oh, that's just this celebrity. I can't hear anybody else. And I think that I have a decent enough range that I could sound like someone completely different if I actually wanted to. Or just, if I needed to, just sound like someone you wouldn't anticipate, but you could still recognize if you understand what I'm saying. I personally disagree with Flash versus Sonic. I don't disagree. I just don't like whenever they do that go back in time stuff. Like, don't win the fights by that. Ben 10 versus Green Lantern was horrible. Everybody knows that. I was at the Goku v Superman rematch live premiere. I was the only Superman fan there. Like, people really don't understand that how overpowered Superman is, because the point of his character. Well, they understand now because the rematch of Death Battle explained it. Like, the point of his character is that he's not supposed to lose. He's supposed to be the god among gods in DC. DC's whole thing is that they are gods protecting man. That's their whole shtick. Whereas Marvel's thing is they're like super soldiers. They're humans who have special abilities. That's why Marvel characters tend to be a lot more grounded. And Superman in DC is the god among gods. He's the best of the best. It's not supposed to be about whether he wins or loses. It's supposed to be about the consequences of his actions and what happens after he does certain actions. Yes, he will lose from time to time, but that's not what the overall Superman story is about. But I remember being so hyped for Goku vs. Superman. I still remember screaming yes when it finally got released. It was good. I watched it with my dad and my uncle, who are both really big comic book fans. My dad got real mad during the fight, and I was like, you haven't even seen it, because there was one part where Superman got hit, and he was like, that wouldn't happen. I'm like, wait till the fight is over. Whoa, you're talented. Baby, I know it. I just really wanted to quote him. I should have said shut up. Yeah, that's the quote. Shut up, baby, I know it. Well, he went forward in time to kill Sonic, not backwards, but they forgot that Sonic had the Ring of Knowledge. I thought he went backwards. So when I looked at those images, I saw him grabbing the emerald, so I thought he went back to right before he grabbed it and killed him. But either way, like, I don't like when they do time travel to do that stuff. And the presence is God in DC, and one above all is God of Marvel. I don't know who the actual, like, the God is in DC. I've seen Allfather, but he's not supposed to be the God. I know there is a the God because of freaking, what's his name, Spirit? I think. I haven't read DC or Marvel comics in a long time. I read them a lot when I was a teenager, a lot when I was in college. Then when I got out of college, I tried to get back into them, but Marvel was doing this thing where they were replacing a bunch of heroes with a bunch of other people. Wolverine was replaced with a girl. That's when Spider-Man got replaced with Miles, which Miles was one of the few good ones. But they were doing that thing, and I didn't like it, because these were heroes I grew up with, and they were just replacing them. And DC I hadn't remembered, DC did the New 52. That's what ticked me off with DC. So I was like, I invested years of my life into this lore, and you're just going to erase it for a reboot. And then they brought it back, because apparently New 52 was not a good idea. Alright, for anybody just joining us, we have fixed the major issue I was dealing with on the computer. I'm very thankful for people who helped me do that. There's still one issue. The fans are not working. People said that, it should still be fine as long as I keep the panels off. I don't want to keep the panels off because I really like... This one right here has a glass door, and I really like the glass door. And I got all this mesh and this glass and whatnot. I want to use it. But at the very least, I need the computer functional. And I'm so glad it's functional. Well, they both appeared like less than 20 times in the comics. Yeah, I think you're talking about the God on that one. So right now what we're just doing is we're just having a conversation like we normally do in the streams. Just talking and whatnot. I hope the music is still going, because I can't hear the music because I don't have my headphones. Yeah, the music's still going. Okay. Random question. What did you think of Birds of Prey? I did not read Birds of Prey. That was around the time where I think Birds of Prey have been going on for a while, but the one I'm thinking of was around the time where I started getting off comics. Because I wasn't really buying comics too much because I was in college. I was getting them from the library, and I was reading those. And then once I got out of college, people would start buying me comics for gifts, and I would just be like, I'm not really feeling what's going on in the comic world right now. There's a lot of things I didn't like. I didn't like Avengers versus X-Men. I didn't like Civil War. I did not like I know that was a while ago. That was a long time ago, but I did not like Civil War. and like the results of Civil War. Some of the after stories of Civil War was interesting. When Norman Osborn got his own Avengers, I thought that was interesting. Superior Spider-Man ticked me off. Oh my goodness, the Superior Spider-Man ticked me off. Episode 700 of The Amazing Spider-Man, or issue 700. I had just read The Astonishing X-Men. The Astonishing X-Men is a really good comic series, and I'm about to spoil it. In it, they kill off Kitty Pryde, and Kitty Pryde has such a fantastically good death. It's an amazing death. I read that, and then I read issue 700 of Spider-Man, and they did something in there that really ticked me off. If you know what issue 700 is, you know what they did, and it really, really ticked me off. And then after that, Superior Spider-Man started, which I have like the last like 4 issues, the last graphic novel, the hardcover of Superior Spider-Man. I just found it. I was going through my stuff the other day. But I think like the last really good comic book I read was Spider-Man at World's End. And that's when Spider-Man, he basically becomes Tony Stark, and he starts leading the Avengers against this threat, and like Silver Sable gains respect from him. It's a very pro Spider-Man book, but it's also the setup to Superior Spider-Man. It's Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody who it's Christmas to. It is not Christmas for me yet. I go by Eastern time, so I still got another 6 hours. But I got my Christmas gift. This is rare and good to go. I got a board for it. It's a funny story that happened to me. When I went out to get thermal paste for the CPU and the fan. Which, by the way, if you buy Ryzen with the fan, which I did, the thermal paste comes with it. I didn't know that. Like, I looked for it and I didn't see the tube. It's because they've already applied it. Though some people say it's low quality thermal paste. So, but I'm probably gonna reapply some more in like a year or so. But I went out to get thermal paste, and I went to Best Buy to get it because Best Buy is like the only place that sells it off the shelf. And I went down a bit of a ways, and this video I saw said that you shouldn't put your computer on carpet because hair and dirt and whatnot comes up. Most batteries are on the floor of a computer, and that's how you get a lot of stuff clogged into the computer. So I was just like, okay, I need to get like a board or something, but I didn't know where a Home Depot was. So I went into this shopping complex next door, and I went into a Michael's. I was like, maybe a Michael's will have like a board or a table or something I could use. If you guys don't know what Michael's is, it's an arts and crafts place. They didn't have it. So I'm right next to a Michael's is a Target. So I'm like, well, maybe they'll have something, just like a small table or a board or something. And I walk around all of Target, and I don't see anything that I can use. And I'm getting tired. I want to go home. I'm like, well, there's a Hobby Lobby right next to where I live, so maybe there'll be one there. But I'm probably just gonna have to not put it on the floor and keep it on this desk. I don't want to keep this on the desk. It seems a bit heavy. I'd rather keep it on the floor. And as I'm leaving the complex, I just glanced to my left, and right next to me is a Home Depot. And I was like, ah! Oh, how long has that been there? Like, it was right there for me to see anywhere in that complex. It was a Home Depot. I went in, grabbed the board, and came out. I don't know. Maybe you had to be there, but man, I was so I was laughing at myself. Have you seen The Mandalorian? I tried to watch The Mandalorian. I think objectively it's good. It's just it didn't interest me. Like, I tried to stick with it because it seemed really, really good, but it just didn't interest me. Hey, Bojack guy. Really like your stuff on King of the Hill. Excellent analysis on the blame game in those episodes. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. In case you're desperate, mustard is apparently a very good thermal paste substitute. I am not desperate. I was desperate before because I didn't know I needed to order thermal paste. I was like, they gave me a CPU and a fan. I shouldn't have to order thermal paste. And then I didn't see any thermal paste in there. I was like, oh, I guess I do have to order it. And then I went and got the thermal paste, opened the thing up, thermal paste was already on it. So, since Warner Brothers owns Cartoon Network and DC, what crossover? Oh, I didn't know Warner Brothers owned Cartoon Network. Are you sure Warner Brothers owns Cartoon Network? Cartoon Network is in the same place as CNN and whatnot. What crossover do you want to have between the two? I would love to have Jack fight Batman or Deathstroke. What do you mean, Jack? Like Samurai Jack? Samurai Jack versus Batman would be a good fight, yeah. I don't know about... Well, Deathstroke is basically the bad guy Batman, so yeah, that'd probably be a good fight. Monitor turned off. Who would I want to see from Cartoon Network? Like, I would like to see Ben 10 with Batman. I wouldn't want to see him fight him. Like, I think Ben 10 would be an interesting thing in the DC universe. But Ben 10 is so freaking overpowered, though. Like, they've made him too powerful with the Omnitrix. He was already a super powerful thing when it was just, hey, there's 10,000 aliens in your Omnitrix. But once they were like, hey, Alien X is a thing who's basically a god, and B, your Omnitrix has a mind of its own. It'll put you on the right alien if your life is in danger. And C, your Omnitrix can absorb the DNA of any species it encounters, and you can turn it into them. Yeah, those three combined makes him ridiculously overpowered. And that's why when it was Green Lantern versus Ben 10, everybody was like, this is no contest. Like, Ben 10 is too powerful. You can put Ben 10 against anybody, and he pretty much wins because all that person has to do is touch his Omnitrix. He can then become that race, and with the Omnimatrix, he can become an even more powerful version of that race. So if Superman touched it, he would become a Superman. And that's just assuming he even needs to do that because he has Alien X. How old is Ben 10, man? Because I was there when Ben 10 first came out. And I remember I was like, man, this is such a good show. Like, it's got such a good premise for superheroes. And I originally didn't like when they introduced like magic and stuff. But I was like, well, I guess it's not that bad. Have you ever thought of covering web-based animations? Like a really old one I know is Unforgotten Realms. Well, I would love to expand my palette. One of the reasons I didn't do that is because of the limitations of my laptop. There are a lot of little things that my small RAM and memory and whatnot has been stopping me from doing. Certain projects I want to do are too big for my laptop to handle, so I just don't do them. I would love to expand my palette to different topics. I came here to help you with building a PC. What's all this about? I was having a problem with my PC. The BIOS wasn't showing up. We solved the problem. It turns out that the CPU I have, it makes the HDMI port on the motherboard useless. So you have to use the GPU. So we fixed it. We still don't have the fans fixed, but that's something I will worry about later. Not the main thing I wanted was to get the BIOS up and running, because now I can move on with the BIOS and then get Windows installed and blah 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 blah. And I'm just basically I'm answering questions now like a regular live stream. So yeah, sorry for the false advertisement. We were definitely working on the computer. But in case you're interested, this is my Fantex right here, Eclipse P600. I'm very there's, bigger is better, manly testosterone. I'm very happy with this, even though I've got so much space in here I'm not using. The motherboard was surprisingly small. Because, all the motherboards I've seen are, really big. Or, I shouldn't say really big, but they're, I don't know. They're about the size of this box right here. They're about the size of this box. All the motherboards I've seen. And this motherboard was really, really small. Smaller than my motherboard from a a desktop I still have from over 10 years ago. And I was like, this is a close-up? But hey, as long as it works, I guess it just doesn't have the extra slots. I'm really glad I didn't have to take the freaking thing out. Because that was gonna. I've done that so many times, and I'm so sick and tired of doing it. I'm so sick and tired because that one screw up there in that back corner, way up there, is so hard to get in, and it's so annoying. And if I have to unplug those freaking wires again, I'm gonna lose it. Gotcha. Thanks for the explanation. Side note, I love your King of the Hill videos. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. It feels really good to get away from just to get away from the BoJack reputation. I'm still gonna do BoJack videos every once in a while, but for those of you new here, that's what I was known for, and it was for a long time. I wouldn't get any views unless I did a BoJack Horseman video. So with Futurama and King of the Hill now being out there, it's just good that I have different shows that I can expect a decent amount of views from, rather than just being like, well, it's the beginning of the month again, time for a BoJack Horseman video. If I want to make any kind of traction. Plus, I was always kind of scared that once BoJack kind of died off, I might die off as well, my channel. So it's just good that it's being reinforced that my channel was not completely reliant on BoJack. Gonna go off. It's 1 a.m. here. Take care. Enjoy your content. Thank you very much. Ever consider covering Ruby? No, because Ruby is anime, and right now I am not into anime. I would like to get back into anime if I can, but Naruto, One Piece, and Reborn Hitman, all three of them, they're all shonen anime, all turned me off anime. Like, I was slowly getting off anime because I couldn't find... Like, the animes that I wanted to watch weren't getting episodes. And then Hitman Reborn was ticking me off. Hitman Reborn is done, but the episodes were so fillery. It was ticking me off. One Piece ticked me off with the Dressrosa arc. That arc is so filled with filler. It is ridiculous. It takes so long for a minute to go by. It is, And once Dressrosa was done, I was like, I can't watch this anymore. I just can't. And then Naruto, I was watching Shippuden during the Great Ninja War, and it went from one really big filler, and I was like, okay, you kind of got to do this with Naruto, because otherwise it's going to catch up to the manga, and they can't do that. So they have to have filler. And then there was a big filler arc. That went off. Next episode, I was like, all right, back to the war, back to the action. Another filler arc happened, and these filler arcs were not entertaining. There are some filler arcs that are very entertaining. These were not, and I was just done. I was like, I can't. I'm trying to get back into anime. I've reviewed Agretsuko, that's considered an anime. I've reviewed Beastars, that's an anime. So it's not like I won't watch anime. It's just growing up from when I was a kid to when I was in college, I watched so much anime, and then I just got tired of it, and then I got like sick of it when I was in college because of all the shonen. But there are a couple animes that, like, if Crunchyroll ever got all the episodes to Detective Conan, that would probably instantly put me back into anime, because I really want to watch Detective Conan, but Crunchyroll doesn't have all the episodes. I stopped at like episode 650 or something, and they start at like episode 750. So, but another thing that might get me back into anime is there was an anime I watched years ago. It was called My Teen Romantic Snafu, and it didn't get its third season until recently. So it was a really good anime, and I kind of want to see it. Fight crossovers, chat. How plebeian? Here's the real question: if you have to have a formal dinner with your least favorite character, who would it be? Austin Tower case, does it have LED lighting? The motherboard and the fan do. I don't think the tower actually does, but I'm fine with that. I was debating. I was like, do I want it to be pretty or do I want it to work? Preferably both, but I think I have nothing against a plain black case as long as it looks really nice and professional. So once I got this, I was actually very happy. I was like, yeah, that's my kind of case. If I okay, so if I had to have dinner with my least favorite, I don't want to have dinner with my least favorite character of all time. My least favorite character of all time, from what I can think of, I cannot think anybody who beats this character. Chloe from Life is Strange. I absolutely detest Chloe from Life is Strange. Good gravy. If there was anyone who needed to be the definition of a victim mentality, Chloe from Life is Strange. I hate this character so freaking much. I don't want to have dinner with Chloe. I really don't. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh yeah, Funimation bought Crunchyroll, if you didn't know. I'm kind of upset at that because I don't like Funimation, but at the same time, Funimation owns the rights to Detective Conan. So maybe we'll get more Detective Conan episodes. Yeah, I get there with anime too. The only good filler stuff I've seen is from the original Dragon Ball, and even that's marginal in quality. I've seen good filler in a couple of anime. The one I think of off the top of my head is Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail had good filler. It's just Naruto and one. Naruto had just bad filler. It was just boring. I didn't care. And One Piece didn't really have filler. It just dragged out its plots. Have you ever heard of Moral Oral? Yes, I have. People have asked me to review it, but I would have to go out of my way to find it. It was a show I was very against when I first saw it when I was little. I never actually saw it. I just saw commercials. Because when I was little, I was very religious. I'm still religious now, but I'm not as religious as I used to be. And Moral Oral was a critique on religion or religious environments. So, but I have seen people like asking me to review it. Again, it's something I would have to go out of my way to find and then review. So it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But it is something to consider. Bro, while I hate Chloe, I would rather have dinner with her than Sephiroth because Sephiroth would just kill me and Chloe would just upset me. Well, the thing is, there are plenty of characters I wouldn't want to have dinner with because they'd kill me. Like, I wouldn't want to have dinner with the Joker because he'd kill me. But, like, I thought the question was if you could have dinner with the character you hate the most, who would it be? Maybe I read it wrong. So I was really just answering what fictional character do you hate the most? The fictional character I hate the most is Chloe. Who would I least likely want to have dinner with as a fictional character? Probably the Joker. Because I honestly wouldn't know what he would do. The Joker does things because they're funny. So if killing you will make him laugh, he'll kill you. If torturing you will make him laugh, he'll do it. If sparing you will make him laugh, he'll do it. You have to have his twisted sense of humor in order to know what he's going to do. And you know who I think has his twisted sense of humor? John from Many a True Nerd, if you've ever seen that YouTube channel. Because he did Kill Everything, and I get serious Joker vibes from his Kill Everything. An episode of that would be awesome from Shady if he can get into it. It can get pretty depression core though. Do you have any material that you've written that you feel could be made into a show? I wrote an amateur novel when I was in college. I never finished it. It was very cliche. It was not really a post-apocalyptic. I guess for lack of a better term, I'm going to say a post-apocalyptic war, but it was about a world that was forever in war, and everybody was fine with that. Like, everybody was just happy being in war, but there were rules you had to follow while you were in the war. So if you've ever seen stuff like Hunger Games or Divergent, it's got a lot of those cliches in it. You know, there was someone special who could threaten the very fabric of what everybody knows, and then they find out that their environment is a lie, and the sequel was supposed to be The Rebellion, which is pretty much every single one of those types of movies or books. Shady is the type of guy to do an analysis on Johnny Test and make Johnny Test look like it's philosophical. Well, the thing is, everything we do is psychological. So you can make anything philosophical. Um, so yeah, like I could talk about this tower and talk about how philosophical it is, because it's all psychological. Everything is designed to do something to the human psyche. Do you have? I already read that. So that would be awesome from Shady if you can get. I already read that. I know Dragon Ball Super I never got into. When it came out, I was like, no, I consider Dragon Ball to be done. I consider GT to be the end of Dragon Ball, even though it was a horrible ending. I consider it to be the end. They're just bringing it back for popularity. And from what I've heard, Dragon Ball Super is not that good. And a lot of people don't like Dragon Ball Super. They just watch it because it's Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball peaked at Cell. We all know this. Majin Buu was fun, but it peaked at Cell. Do you want to do more Futurama episodes? I think it would be fun, but I have to be inspired to do it. I finally got around to watching Game of Thrones. I recorded my reaction to it because I thought it would be an interesting reaction, but my reaction wasn't interesting, so I never made the video for it. It was mostly just me sitting there being quiet, and if I made the video, it would be skipping a lot of parts in the episode, so you wouldn't get enough context. So I just never made the video. Wait a second. This is magnetized! I've been using a magnetized screwdriver this whole time. Yeah, the tips are magnetized. Okay. That's annoying. I don't like putting magnets near the computer. I mean, it's a very small. Yeah, see, it stays in there. Are you a believer of the fan theory that Dale knows about the affair? No, there's not enough evidence to support it. It's completely headcanon. Super is received fine in most of the fandom, but most agree Z is better, but they like Super more than GT, and in my opinion, Super doesn't hit the high of Z, but not the low of GT. Love your outlook, man. Outlook on what? Oh. Looks like you have the PC together. How's it gone? Started up all good? Yeah, so how this stream started was last night I was putting this together, and everything started up and was working. The only thing that wasn't working was the fans, which we still haven't gotten working, and the BIOS was not showing up. And somebody in the chat said it's very possible that the BIOS won't show up on the motherboard port because Ryzen 39X, which is what I have, doesn't have the proper components for the motherboard HDMI. You need to do it on the GPU. So I plugged the HDMI to the GPU, and the BIOS came up. And I was very happy because I had tried so many things to get the BIOS to come up. And I'm very scared that I touched the tip of this on the motherboard, because the tip of this is magnetized, and I needed something to connect, because I needed to reset the whatchamahoots, and you just need something metal. So I'm very scared I used this, but I probably didn't. I probably used this. I remember explicitly using this, but I did it a couple of times, so I'm not sure exactly what I did. Those magnets on a screwdriver are tiny, should be sweet. I think you mean should be fine. But yeah, right now we're just having friendly conversation. I'm just discussing with people different things. Because I don't really have... Well, I have other stuff, but I was planning on working on this for the next couple hours. And right now I'm just so relieved that it's kind of synonymous with feeling exhausted. Because yesterday I spent a ton of time just trying to fix this. And I'm just so happy that it's fixed. So now I can buy a proper monitor for it. Because all these are supposed to be able to handle 4K. I don't have a 4K monitor though. but I would like to see how 4K looks, so I'm going to need a 4K monitor. And am I going to get 2 monitors? I probably should get 2 monitors. All this stuff that I have in this office right now, all like my desk and my laptop and whatnot, I'm planning on having a second office over there to put it. And this is going to be like my main PC that I'm going to be working on and gaming on and whatnot. And I honestly don't know what's going to happen with this laptop. Like, it's just, I know it's going to be in the second office, but like, what am I going to use it for? I could probably use it. I could probably use it for like D&D, because I do play D&D. Which I'm supposed to be starting a new session of D&D with somebody. I'll contact them later on Discord. But I could probably do it. Yeah, this could probably be my exclusive D&D laptop. Because what happens on this laptop now is I play D&D, but I use the D20 site to play it, which is Pathfinder. And I have to open so many tabs because I'm constantly looking stuff up, and it slows down this laptop like crazy. But if you use SSD, then you will be fine. The mobile will be fine as long as if the screwdriver wasn't close to the HDD. I don't think I actually used this. I think I used this to connect because I was trying to connect the EMOS or whatever it's called. And I think I just used this. I'm pretty sure I didn't use this, which is the thing that's magnetized. I know that manga is not your channel theme, but on a personal level, have you kept up with the Beastars manga? I have not, mainly because I just don't have time to read stuff. I don't have time to invest in reading. I haven't really read anything in a while. And if I did read it, it probably wouldn't be manga. I have nothing against manga. I loved manga for years, but I probably wouldn't read manga. I would probably the books I'm most interested in now are fantasy, sci-fi, and how to write fantasy and sci-fi. I love me a good how to write fantasy and sci-fi book. But even those, I haven't really invested time in reading because I just haven't had time. I need to get a Kindle. Monk is best class in D&D. Fight me. See, I would fight you, but Rogue is best class in D&D, and rogues don't straight up fight people. So, yeah, I'm a go-to rogue in any RPG that I play. I prefer to be intelligent, charismatic, and stealthy. So that's straight up rogue. I don't like being the powerhouse of the group, whether that be magic or fighting. I prefer to be the creative one, who can still do some damage, but has to do it in creative ways. So I prefer rogues. Bards are another class I enjoy exploring, but I haven't actually played a bard before. Sorcerers are fun. Wizards I do not like. Druid all the way, that'd probably be a fun one. I am an alchemist right now in one campaign, and I don't really like it. Because I was like, I think an alchemist would be good for me since I'm always looking for creative ways to do combat. So I chose a sprite, so that way I would be useless in combat, because a sprite is diminutive, and I chose to be an alchemist. And so far, it's not really that fun. Like, it's literally just me just drinking potions and shooting spells and whatnot. But I'll have to see how it goes, because the sprite just turned level 2, so maybe when she gets up to like level 4, it'll be more enjoyable. I'm having more fun with my Spell Thief Elf. It's just fun to steal spells. Because the DM of that campaign is very heavily magic-based, but I haven't had ample opportunities to use her either. It's just fun when I was able to use her. One character I want to play as, I'm planning on building the character, is a mermaid with wings. There's a certain species I'm going to use. Somebody recommended it to me, and I'm going to be a half mer person, half whatever that thing is. And Pathfinder gives mer people, if they want it, the ability to polymorph with legs. I'm not sure if I'm going to take that. I might. I don't know. I like having a clear weakness. So if my mer person with wings can't walk, I think that's a cool, clear weakness. But at the same time, I kind of want to be able to walk. But the campaign I plan on using her for, it takes place on an ocean, so... I haven't ever played the Druid class. One of my games, I'm a Goliath with a Napoleon complex. My main character, I still play him. This is the first character I ever made. Is a Kitsune Rogue. Originally he was just a prodigy that was a politician, but the DM worked with me to make him a prince. And basically his backstory was like the original campaign I played in, everybody had a tragic backstory. And I was like, you don't need a tragic backstory to make a character interesting. And I told them my backstory, and one of them was like, oh, that's very boring. Like, you have no wants or needs. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. And I went and I gave him this grand backstory. But what was a part of his backstory was that nothing bad had ever happened to him. Like, he was this prince destined for greatness. Everybody loved him. Everybody saw him as a powerful fighter. And then he realized one day that he had never been through anything. He got kidnapped and he was helpless, and his best friend had to save him, but she still felt like she still thought he did all the work, even though she did all the work. And so that's when he left his home, because he was like, yeah, I'm destined to be king, but I don't know what that means. You look dead. Are you okay? No, I'm just... First of all, I look naturally tired because I'm constantly staying up for various... Well, I don't do it right now, but throughout my youth, I constantly stayed up late. And throughout college, I constantly stayed up late because I was working on programs and YouTube videos during college and whatnot. So I constantly look tired. B, it's also my default state because I'm very introverted and very antisocial. I do not like talking to people face to face. The problem is I'm 6'7". 6'7" people are attractive. Let's face it, it's true. 6'7" people are attractive. People want to talk to you. So I would, as my default face, I would look very either tired or like I'm about to kill somebody. So a lot of times I'd just be looking like this. Like I want to kill somebody. Because that way, nobody would talk to me. So, yeah, this is just my chill look. You know, you guys are used to seeing Shady Doorags the Entertainer, where I get really hyped up in front of the camera. Hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. You're used to that. I'm just chill right now, just relaxing. No, I'm pretty fine, yeah. I'm more than fine, because we got this computer working. So I'm actually pretty happy. But yeah, this is just me being chill. Just me relaxing. You should know that pretty much anyone you see online, they're not necessarily faking it, but they're making sure you see certain parts of themselves. Like I tell people, Shady Doorags is not fake. He is me, but he's a certain part of me I make sure gets put out there. So this part right now that's very chill, I could say that's less Shady Doorags and more Montrell, the content creator. My main character is a monk named Bob who has a huge butt ego that was trained by another monk with a bigger ego, but takes care of orphans in a dojo, and he has a Texan accent. Also, that sounds pretty interesting, actually. As long as you're taking care of yourself. I've started doing certain things because I'm approaching 30, and I told myself, like, hey, 30 is when you gotta start taking care of yourself because you're getting too old. So I've started cleaning more. That was the main thing. I need to start. I've started changing my diet. I'm still pretty bad at my diet, but I've started changing it up slightly. The other thing is exercise. I need to do more exercise. The main reason I was tired was because when I did that King of the Hill video, I really wanted to get it out, so I actually pulled an all-nighter, and I don't recover very quickly. And also because yesterday I was working on this and it was stressing me out. And in the end of his journey, his huge ego is actually justified. You're almost 30. I thought you were younger. Yeah, that's because I'm stuck in my early 20s. I'm stuck. Yeah, mentally, I'm pretty much stuck in my early. You'd be shocked, like how 30-year-olds act. But I think, like, because of millennials, like the 40-year-old mentality is probably gonna die out. Was that the thing for Rick? Who's Rick? Rick and Morty? By the way, if you're hearing this click, I'm just messing with this screwdriver. That's probably annoying some people. I'm very chill. I feel very zen right now. Tomorrow I'm going to get back to work. So I got a lot of videos I got to do. Well, maybe not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Christmas. Maybe the next day. I got a lot of work I got to do, though. I got a lot of videos I got to make. I got to re-clean this office because I messed it up building this thing. I cleaned it, built this, and when I built this, I messed it up. So I got to re-clean this office, and I got to clean the living room because I destroyed the living room cleaning this office. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by for Rick. Cause I know two Ricks. I don't know if you're referring to which one, because Rick from Rick and Morty, and there's another Rick that I mean, it is a lot, but like I pretty much went into this Christmas vacation knowing there was going to be a lot of work put into it. Like I got a week off from my job, and then I took another week off so I could get some work done. And doing that is why the King of the Hill video came out. Oh, you're from that group. You're talking about that Rick. At least I was talking about him making a computer for him. I have not heard of this. But yes, I am almost 13, which is fun to think about, since everybody knows I have an existential dread of oblivion. Good to see your face. Thank you. I don't have my shades on because we were working on the computer. The computer's done now. You guys want to see it fire up? Yeah, let's watch it fire. I like when it turns on. It's so purty. I don't want to mess up that camera. I really need to get a new camera. This camera used to be HD. Well, it's always been 720. I've had this camera for a long time, but that's another thing I plan on investing in. Camera. I don't have to invest in a mic. One of the first criticisms that I got for a long time was that, hey, you need a better mic, you need a better mic, you need a better mic. I have a good mic. It's just, for good mics, at least the ones I've seen, you need mixers. And I can't hook up a mixer to my laptop. So I had to find, like, I had to get rid. There was a mic I had that sucked, and I got rid of it, and I'm using the current mic now. Which, I think I blew out this mic, because when I'm editing, I noticed that the audio sounds, it sounds like I blew it out. But I have a good mic. Hopefully it still works, because it's been stored for like 3 years. And I have a mixer. Like, I used to have very quality audio. So before you meet the Grim Reaper, use Linux. I haven't used Linux since college. Ooh, pretty colors. Yeah. I like the freaking box shows that the thing is colorful. The fan is colorful, but I wasn't expecting it to be colorful, and I really wanted it to be colorful. So I was very happy when it booted up and like all those colors came up. Like, the camera doesn't give it justice. The color is a lot more vibrant than the camera is showing. And the motherboard lights up too, if you can see back there. So that's always fun, just having pretty colors. Celebrate Christmas, but also what were you thinking of making? What do you mean? Oh, you're talking about the videos. I have an avatar project coming up, which I was hoping they would be done by December, but it's really looking like that's not going to happen. So it's probably going to happen in January. A bunch of Avatar videos. Wait a minute, you are religious? Don't you believe in an afterlife? So why fear oblivion? Because I believe in the possibility of oblivion. I understand that I might be wrong about things. What's your regular job? I cannot remember the official title they gave me, but they constantly tell me I am a material handler. I work in data entry. I shouldn't leave this on for too long because it's on this blanket. Which, by the way, is what I use to block out sound from my microphone, so my audio sounds horrible. Or not horrible, but you can hear echoes more than you normally would with my audio. And also, I normally clean the audio before a video, so same microphone, but it's not going through Audacity. But yeah, I shouldn't leave this on for too long because the battery is facing the blanket, and so hair and stuff can get caught up. I'm going to set that down, put on a wooden board. And the thing is, I was gonna get a warranty for all this, but a lot of it came with warranty. I didn't know that. Like, the CPU has a 3-year warranty on it. Some other stuff in here has warranty too. Like, I didn't know. The CPU was the main thing I was worried about. So I was like, if something happens to that CPU, I'm gonna need another one. It's like, yeah, as long as you run it normally, they will replace it within 3 years. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Because I was going to get a 2-year warranty. I was going to get a 2-year warranty on everything. And that's why I was kind of freaking out, because if I do get a warranty, I have to get it by Monday. Because the warranty I was going to get is like, it said on the warranty, everything you bought within the past 30 days for your office. So, and I bought these like almost 20 days ago, like 25 days ago. So I would have to get it by Monday. So if this wasn't working, and I didn't get it working by Monday, that was going to be a problem. But now that I know that mostly everything is working except for the fans, should be good. I really do want these fans to work. Like, they're one of the big reasons why I bought this tower. It's got one fan on the back, 2 on the front. It's got mesh on top and the front. I was shocked when I found out how much thought goes into a tower nowadays. Like, I was taught in college, it's like a tower is just a box you put the components in. And when I went to go look up towers, it was like, oh yeah, we have all these fancy things. Look, here's the tower shaped in the helmet of Iron Man. I'm like, what? Why? It's like, yeah, there's no perfect tower. It just depends on what you prioritize. I had to do like the tower took the most research, and I couldn't believe that. I was like, how's the tower taking so much research? The hardest thing to comprehend though was the motherboard, because so many videos out there, they don't really go into motherboard stuff. Like, you just kind of have to know what they're talking about, which is why I actually got like a motherboard with less stuff than I wanted, but as long as it works with my CPU. CPU won't break in 3 years unless you're really clumsy. Yeah, even if it did, like the warranty I was planning on getting was for 2 years, so it'd be pointless. Yeah, those are really pretty, because they're not showing well on the camera. I'm seeing it on the camera, they're just not showing as vibrantly. It looks really pretty in real life. Yeah, definitely time for a new camera. I mean, it's been time for a new camera. I'm shocked people haven't been complaining about some of the videos. Somebody asked me what was I working on. Avatar videos. Yes, videos, plural. I need to make a miraculous video. A miraculous rundown. I know they're bad for the channel. People have told me to stop making them. Like, not the audience. People outside who run their own businesses are like, you need to stop making those miraculous videos. They're bad for your channel. You need to be a business person. You can make them once you go full-time YouTube. You actively lose subscribers when you make them. I'm just like, they give me so much joy. Like, I love just making those videos. They're just fun. I have fun making them. Where are my shades? I don't even know where my shades are. They're probably in the living room. Dude, do what you want. That's easier said than done. What I do will always be a combination of what I want to do and what my audience wants from me. It will always be that combination. So sometimes the audience will want so much of something I actually don't want to do, I'll do it anyway. Sometimes I'll want to do something I really want to do that the audience doesn't want, and I'll do it anyway. But I try to aim for that middle point, something I really want to do and something my audience really wants to see. But Miraculous is like that one guilty pleasure where I'm always like, this is the thing, if anything, I love doing and I just want to do. Doing videos for fun lasts longer in the long run. It lasts longer for your sanity, definitely. For your channel, not necessarily. I've seen channels die. I've seen a lot of channels die, and I put this on Just Robots video before. Your channel dying is a really big fear for YouTubers. I'm terrified of my channel dying, and the main thing is because a YouTube channel is a good escape from the 9-to-5, and I hate the 9-to-5. Like, I don't want to say like the 9-to-5 is a terrible system. I just hate it because I'm a millennial and we don't like that kind of lifestyle. Lumping all millennials into one group, but your typical millennial doesn't like that kind of lifestyle. Whereas YouTube allows you to. I'm not afraid of work. I just don't like the 9-to-5 style of it. I don't like getting up at the same time every single day to do a job that doesn't really benefit me. It just gives me money, but it doesn't make me a better person. I want to improve myself, and with YouTube, it allows you to do that. Also, I don't like other people. Again, this is going to sound very childish of me, but it's very true. I don't like other people telling me what to do. I try to handle it maturely. I do my best to handle it maturely, but I just don't like doing it. I'm fine with taking advice. I don't like people telling me what to do. So yeah, I really want to get out of the 9-to-5 system. People ask me all the time when I'm at jobs, hey, do you like this job? And I'm honest with them. I say, any job I get where it's in a 9-to-5, I'm eventually going to hate. It just takes me a certain time. A certain time of being there. I watch Miraculous because of you too. Oh, that's great. Honestly, though, you got me into loving Miraculous. I mean, with me and Miraculous, I say all the time, it's not a show I personally like for the right reasons. I've been watching it for so long and observing it for so long that I've fallen in love with these characters and with this show. It's kind of got that nostalgia pull on me now because I've been watching it for so long. But the show itself, I think, has severe problems. And it's not a show I would watch if I didn't watch it for reviews. But since I've been watching it for so long, yeah, it's kind of tugged on my heartstrings. Another video I was planning on doing was Dragon Prince. I really wanted to get that final season done before the new year. I'm having a hard time with the script, though. Did you finish the PC? I didn't really finish it, but I got the part that was not working. We were trying to get the BIOS up. We got the BIOS up. The only thing that's not working now are the internal fans. I'm going to see about working with those, but the main thing I wanted to get was the BIOS up. We got the BIOS working. That means my motherboard is not 100% screwed up. It means my CPU is working. I was very scared. I was like, did I match my CPU up correctly with my motherboard? It told me, the website told me that this motherboard matched this CPU. I trusted it. What happened? Like, I was freaking out. That's why I was like, okay, Shady, you need to go to bed. You need to go to bed and get a fresh start. But yeah, the chat helped me out a lot with getting this thing working. I'm going to turn it off now because I don't want it to suck up too much hair from this blanket. But yeah, and I've still got a lot of work to do on it because I gotta set up the BIOS. I gotta install Windows. And they say there's a way to install Windows without linking it to a Microsoft account, which I would really like to do because I really don't like the Microsoft account thing. Have you seen Claws? I don't think I have. No. I'm pretty sure I have not seen Claws. Alright. It takes so much time, but it's exciting. You got a new PC. Yeah, I'm very excited. And I've told I was finna jump into it. And I told myself, no, take it slow. Okay, do it step by step. But probably gonna be I really want to just go out and get a monitor just to see how it looks. But I got to get it all set up first. I don't think I need a warranty on a monitor. The CPU is the main thing. Like a lot of this stuff I'm not too worried about. The graphics card I'm somewhat, because it just seems so fragile. Have you seen Dragon Prince Season 3? Yeah, I was just talking about that. I want to get the Season 3 done before the end of the year, but I don't know if it's going to happen because I'm having trouble writing the script. I have seen Season 3, and yeah, I'm fine talking about it, but this will be a spoiler for the video, if you guys want to wait for the video. So, Season 3, Dragon Prince, almost everything happened exactly as I predicted it would happen. But I didn't expect all of that to happen in one season. I expected them to kind of drag out some parts. Drag out's a bad word, but for lack of a better term, drag out. I would say it's probably the best of the three. But I don't, like, a lot of people are saying, oh, this is the next Avatar The Last Airbender. It has Avatar The Last Airbender in it, elements in it, like it has the art style and it has Sokka, but I don't see this as the next Avatar The Last Airbender. There are some great moments in The Dragon Prince as a whole. There are some great moments. Avatar itself is great. All of Avatar is great. Like, you have to find moments in Avatar that are not as good as other moments. I've been rewatching Avatar lately, and it's still so good. Even years later, it's still freaking amazing. And, you know, maybe you could say I'm nostalgia blind, but considering the reputation Avatar has, I highly doubt it. Whereas The Dragon Prince just has good moments. It has moments where I can say, oh, I really enjoyed that. Oh, that moment is Avatar level. But like Avatar Last Airbender, you have to look for moments to say that one moment, that one element is not Avatar worthy. That one element. I really doubt Claudia can redeem. She's helping Viren kill Ezrin. Was the final nail in the coffin for me. Yeah, I don't think they're pushing Claudia down the redemption route because they pushed Soren down the redemption route, and Soren was redeemed. He helped rescue the person he tried to kill. That was his redemption arc has been fulfilled. In order to give Claudia some kind of parallelism with Soren, they should keep her down the corruption path. And Claudia had to do, we don't know what it is, but she had to do something really evil to bring back her dad. We don't know what it is. We just know she had to do it because she had to do something that the show considers really evil to bring back Soren. Some people would say, you know, you killed a deer to not paralyze, to make sure your brother wasn't paralyzed. Like, a lot of people would consider that a good trade-off. But we don't know what she did to bring her dad back. We just know her hair is whiter now, so it must have been something really, really evil. And what they're showing is that Claudia is actually more talented than Viren. Because she can do these like amazing things with magic. But for some reason, her soul is not being as destroyed as fast as Viren. Not sure. She killed a guy to revive him. There was a boot behind the cave they were in. Oh, I'll have to take a look at that part again. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I just know she did something that was considered like irredeemable because she did some horrible stuff. She did something horrible for Soren, so she had to have done something much, much worse to bring a person back to life. And I think Soren and Claudia are the best parts of the Dragon Prince. I think they have really interesting. I mean, Soren himself, a lot of the lines are just bad. Not just on Soren, but in the show, a lot of the lines are just bad. Soren has some of the worst lines though, but he has like the best arc. I like that. I really like that. I'm going into spoilers now, people. I really like that Soren had to kill his dad, and I really like that he did it in front of Claudia. I know it was an illusion, but I like that happened because it showed Claudia when push comes to shove, Soren does not put family first like she does. He puts what he believes is the good of all first. He didn't want to kill his dad, but he would do it. And even though it was an illusion, it showed Claudia that he was willing to do something like that. I thought that was really good. But I've started. Rayla is no longer my favorite. I don't hate her. I can't hate her, but Rayla is no longer my favorite. She's a character who heavily follows her heart, and I just don't like characters like that. I have a similar problem with Katara. I really don't. I just don't. It sometimes what they say and what they do annoys me so much. And I didn't like her arc. I didn't like that, I think her arc should have been forgetting the past, not letting the past define her. Instead, it was revealing the truth about the past. I now understand Doug Walker's criticism on The Lion King. I now understand it because I have the same criticism with Rayla. Instead of forgetting the past and saying it doesn't define her, what they did was say, no, the past didn't mean what you thought it meant. That's what ticked me off, because I was like, Rayla shouldn't have to stay and fight because of what her parents did. She's somebody different from her parents. And they were like, no, and I obviously knew that Rayla's parents weren't going to be bad guys. And it's kind of contrived, or not bad guys, cowards, but it's kind of contrived how they made everyone think these people were cowards just because nobody found the bodies. Like, oh, they must have run away. That's what you assume? You don't assume they were taken prisoner or anything like that? Like, they just assumed Rayla's parents were cowards because they couldn't find the bodies. I think that's very contrived. What do you think of the soldiers that left the army? They know Viren only cares about them, using them as pawns. Harold did care about the soldiers as individuals. Well, I don't think they thought Viren was only using them as pawns. I think they all had different reasons for leaving the army. I like that the boy Rayla saved was one of them. I think they could have done something better with that, but at least they did something. To demonstrate their message. They're trying to show this message that if you show kindness, kindness that spreads, but if you show like hatred, that spreads. So you have to stop the cycle. So I think that was good for their message. I was fine with that. I thought it was going to come into play more because he said they're going to wear a badge of dishonor. And I thought we would get to see the repercussions of that. We really didn't, because Viren was dethroned before all that could come into play. So, a lot of it feels kind of like I feel Ezran should have been on the throne for a little bit longer. Like, I think this season should have ended with Ezran getting dethroned. It's bad morale when the leader doesn't care about. It's bad morale when the leader doesn't care about the soldier. It can be. I've seen different takes on this. I am personally not a soldier, so I cannot say this from personal experience. I've seen different takes on it. Some people want their leaders to be cold and calculating, but I've seen a lot of shows where they want the leader to care about the lives individually, like. There's this game, LA Noire, where they were talking about this, the OCP, which is a real thing in America, where OCS, the OCS, where people, it's like leadership school for the army, and the people in there, they have to be cold and calculating. Like you don't want your generals on the battlefield because they will get emotional. You want them away from the battlefield. The amount of people simping for the elf worm villain scares me. I mean, he's a great villain. He's a what they've done with him so far, I'm not gonna lie, he's an Azula level villain. And Azula to me was the best thing about Avatar. This guy is an Azula. Like, if he wins, you think he deserves it. The good guys have to do something serious if they really want to defeat him. Shady must watch Super Eye Patch Tech Wolf. I probably have seen him. I've watched a lot of tech videos this past week. Oh, what time is it? I'm probably gonna have to eat soon. I'm not that hungry. I ate right before the stream. How long have I been streaming? Oh, I've only been streaming for 2 hours. Not that long. Especially when he Thanos snapped the Sunfire Queen. I mean, he's a smooth. First of all, he's a smooth, stereotypical villain. But when he's riding that horse, he shows so much personality, and you just like him more. He's like, oh, do you want us to? Do you want to conquer Zadia? I want what's best for the human race. Does that include conquering Zadia? Yeah, I freaking love Erebos. And yeah, he has a buttery smooth voice. He's worth simping for. Thoughts on Zamasu and Goku Black as a character? I haven't seen Dragon Ball Super. I know the concept of Goku Black. He's what's his face put in Goku's body, but I don't really have much thoughts on him because I haven't seen it. And I don't care to watch Super. My bad, I meant Super Eye Patch Wolf, not a tech channel. Super Eye Patch Wolf? Wish I could look that up right now. I don't have my second screen plugged in. Oh, I have this in. Hopefully it doesn't lag my computer, because like I said, I can't do anything while streaming. What? Oh, the thumbnail is wrong. Why did no one say anything? No one told me the thumbnail on this stupid thing was incorrect. I don't know how to change that from here. Snap. Oh well, I guess we're just gonna have to live with it. The freaking Legend of Korra thumbnail is up. Hey, you, stop playing. The Legend of Korra thumbnail is up, and that's not. I like the Korra thumbnail. Well, it's false advertising. Oh no, I've opened YouTube. For those of you who don't know, I basically live on YouTube. That's where I spend all my time. Now that I've opened it, I'm reading comments. Stop. You're in the middle of a stream right now. And I see Valkyrie is playing Among Us again. Greetings, Karam. If you're here for the computer bits, we've finished those. PC is built and working. We've yet to get the fans running, but I will deal with that later. But everything works and the BIOS popped up on the screen, so Netflix or Hulu? Normally I would say Netflix. Normally, I was BoJack Horseman guy for a long time. It was Netflix easy. But I've been watching a lot of Hulu lately, and I am shocked at just how much is on there. Like, I forget that Hulu was one of the first really big ones. Like, you forget that because they kind of just fade into the background. But, like, I was able to do my Lorax video because of Hulu. Like, Hulu had the original Lorax, and I could compare and contrast stuff. Netflix didn't have the original Lorax. Hulu also has King of the Hill. I don't know if Netflix has King of the Hill. Hulu also has Futurama. So I would probably have to say Hulu. Like, for a long time, I would definitely have said Netflix, but I'll probably have to say Hulu. They have just a lot of stuff that I would go back to. Like, Netflix, I don't really come back to anything on Netflix. Netflix has Avatar, though. Netflix does have Avatar, though. And, like, Avatar is just one of those shows I could just leave on in the background as noise. I used to do that because Nicktoons used to play Avatar like Cartoon Network plays Teen Titans Go. They used to just play it all the time, and I was fine. I would just leave it on in the background. Yeah, I know, right? I rewatched Futurama recently. Hulu's great. Like, I would be typing in stuff looking for other stuff and stuff that I wanted to watch but didn't know Hulu had would just pop up. Like, I would type in something, and then I looked on there. Tiny Toons Summer Adventure was on there. I was like, wait, what? I've been looking forever for this. Teen Titans Go is good. Teen Titans Go, to me, is a junk food cartoon. There's nothing wrong with it unless you get too much of it. And Cartoon Network gives us way too much of it. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen Cartoon Network recently. When I watched Cartoon Network, and it went on for this for a while, and it went on like this for a while, Cartoon Network, they showed Teen Titans Go a lot, all the time, and I just got sick of it. Listen, Missandei. Alright? You want to judge people. Alright? Look at that. See that light up? Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. It's done. I'm spending some quality time with my audience. In that conversation, Vera doesn't want to admit he wants to conquer Zadia until Eros points out he needs to conquer it. The Viren answered, "Yeah." They're kind of sort of trying to make Viren a complicated character. He's not, which is why I didn't like. Which is why I didn't like him in the first season, because I wanted him to be a complicated character. Yeah, it looks much better outside the camera. The colors are very vibrant, and the motherboard lights up too. But he's not, like, just keep him as the minion character. I'm much more interested in Erebos. I feel bad for Claudia. She doesn't seem truly evil. I think her dad's influence and some other stuff is leading her down this path. Well, it's not that she's evil. It's that she chose family over doing what's right. She told Ezrin that. I just keep reading Missandei's comments. She told Ezrin that, her brother was all she had, and family meant a whole lot to her, and her having to choose between her mother and her father was like one of the hardest things she did. So she's gonna constantly put family first, and that's contrast to Soren, who's doing the opposite. He wants to be doing what's right first, and Viren, he knows what Viren is doing is evil. He can see it. He can see, and I was actually very shocked that they didn't have Viren full Soren at the beginning of season 3, because he was like, "Oh, you thought I told you to kill the princess? You're so dumb." I thought they were gonna make Soren fall for it because he's the typical dumb character, but he didn't. He said, "No, I know what this man said, and he's trying to manipulate us." And he was never on Viren's side from that point forward. He was constantly he was constantly doubting. Does the PC work? Here is the monitor for it. Wait for it. There's the BIOS. Yep, the PC works. I have to set up the BIOS and install Windows into it. But it works. The only thing that seems to be malfunctioning, the tower fans don't seem to be working. I think the tower has warranty too. Yeah, the CPU and I think the tower both have like 3-year warranties. So yeah, the internal fans don't work. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with them. It might be a faulty wire. Might be they don't get power. I could just, if it's the wire, I could just buy another wire. That'd be easier than like waiting for another tower to come in. And one of the USB ports is not going to work. What's this? I don't remember seeing a plug for that. One of the USB ports is not going to work because the motherboard doesn't support it. But yeah, it works. It does exactly what it's supposed to. And I'm very happy because I spent forever yesterday trying to get it work. And then thanks to the audience people here, I asked chat, and chat helped me figure out what was going on. She would think that as long as she thinks Viren is a misunderstood saint. I don't think Claudia thinks Viren is a misunderstood saint. I think what's going on is she believes she needs to stick with family, and she is making excuses for that. Soren doesn't have a reason to lie after he confesses his mission to Claudia. Soren started to be my favorite. He learned and grew in a way I wasn't expecting. I think objectively, Soren and Claudia are both just the best things about that show. Erebos is pretty good too, but we have Erebos has been kind of withheld from us. Maybe wiggle the wire a bit. That could be it. I probably shouldn't do this while it's on. I might get shocked. Could just be the wire's not plugged in all the way. Or it's plugged in the opposite way. Like, this is the wire right here. It's plugged into the motherboard fan component. So it should be powering these 3 fans. But it's not. I got 2 fans over here and 1 fan over there. And it's not powering them. I don't know why. Somebody suggested plugging it into the CPU fan port. Because that way we can test to see if it's just the wire. Which I will probably do. The problem is the CPU port is way in that corner and it's very hard to get in. It took me forever to plug that stupid thing in. That bird didn't come into the picture. That I am still convinced that bird is the king. I'm still 100% convinced that bird is the king. I think Viren did the snake thing to the king and the bird, or maybe Viren didn't, and it just kind of happened with the king and the bird. I do this to you, wave check. Oh no, wave check. Don't even bother. I just had a haircut, and before I had a haircut, I wasn't really doing that good of a job of taking care of my hair. So definitely don't have waves right now. I get waves really easily. Like, I don't even need a Doorag. I just need to brush my hair. Or at least I used to. I think Thunder didn't deserve to die petrified and away from his family, and Kingdom Guard should have helped him kill Harrow and Viren. Okay, so you just brought something to my attention. What was the point of those guards? I do not understand what the point of those guards were, because they're supposed to guard. They're supposed to guard him in his home. He's supposed to guard the range of the mountains or the divide. That's what he's supposed to guard. But they're at his home. Like, the elves should have fought them first before they got to the dragon. Congrats on building a PC that works. Looking forward to the awesome content that will come for it. Thank you very much, Miss Sande. I am looking forward to working on this, and streaming and whatnot. That's probably what I'm mainly gonna do is stream on it, just to like test the waters out, because I don't have a CD drive for it, and my editing software, which I got over a decade ago, requires a CD. So I'm probably gonna get like a new editing software to go on this. So I tried a new editing software on my laptop, and for various reasons it didn't work. And I would like to get a new editing software just because mine gives me so much problems. I could do a lot of cool stuff on it, but I feel like I could do that stuff on other editing softwares, and they wouldn't give me as many problems. Like, yeah, but Thunder's elves, like, what was the point? Because the humans literally came to his house, which they are supposed to be defending, and they didn't defend it. And then they were just like, oh, he killed Thunder, we're running. It's like, why? And I get that Viren has some powerful dark magic, but do they not have powerful magic of their own? And it really confused me because they said Moonshadow Elves, a team of Moonshadow Elves, nothing in the 5 human kingdoms could stand up to them. Just a team of 5 Moonshadow Elves. 5 of them. But Viren can easily defeat 2 of them. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. They thought Thunder was untouchable and near impossible to kill. They were guarding Zim, but they left him to die except Rayla's parents. Yeah, but even still, why did Thunder leave to go out and fight the humans? That's the freaking elves' job. They were at Thunder's house. It's their job to fight people at Thunder's house. Have you watched Hilda? Everyone's saying it's really good, but I haven't watched any of the show yet. I have not seen Hilda. I watched one episode of Hilda and I was kind of bored. It seems way more philosophical than what I'm looking for. When I look for shows, I tend to look for something funny, something action-oriented, or something with a lot of world building. Hilda has that last one, but it seemed a little random, so I got really bored. Are your internal fans still not working? That is correct. I haven't really been experimenting, but yeah, they're not working. Okay, I thought that... I was looking at that wire in there. I thought it was plugged into the wrong thing. So this is the cord right here. I could unplug it and plug it back in, but I don't want to do that while it's on. And it goes back here, so I'm assuming it's this wire or that port on the motherboard that doesn't work. I don't think it's because it doesn't have enough power. I really don't think that, because everything else seems to be working fine. But that is a possibility. Killing Thunder is one reason Harrow felt he deserved to die, as he roped Ezrin, Callum, and humanity to his grudge, and Zim neither deserved to die. Like, I don't like Harrow. Season 2 really made me dislike Harrow. He made this grand statement about how your birth shouldn't define what happens to you, and then literally the next scene is him saying, "Oh, it's a monster. It doesn't have feelings." You know, they portray him as bad, but to me, it's not just bad. They just portray him as inconsistent. I got bored when I watched Disenchantment Season 1. Still haven't finished it. Just not as good as Futurama. It's not. And the reason it's... I get a lot of people defending... well, not a lot of people, but I get people defending Disenchantment. Disenchantment's problem is that it's trying to both be episodic and continuous, and it's not doing a good job. Like, it's doing it in wrong ways. Like, some people say, well, Futurama had a continuing story. No, it didn't. Futurama did not have a continuing story. What Futurama had was it would take an episode and it would call back to a past episode for the convenience of that episode. That's what would happen with Futurama. Yes, technically they did go, like, every year that passed in the real world, a year passed in Futurama. But the story itself is like you were supposed to take episodes by themselves. Sometimes they would say, hey, remember what happened in this one episode? Yeah, we're referencing that. Sometimes that would happen. Disenchantment is a story you are not supposed to watch out of order. It is a story you're supposed to watch in order, and you're supposed to put all the pieces together. And it doesn't do a good job with it. More like narrow-minded, Harold just followed Vera's callous ideas until he saw the consequences. No. I disagree with that completely. Harold, let me tell you, because I have a big rant about this in my video, and I still feel the same way. Harold jumped into situations he wasn't ready for against Viren's advice. Harold promised those two queens that, hey, we will give you all we have. And Viren's like, listen, if we give them all we have, our people will die too. That's a bad thing for a king to do. You can't say our people will die too, because your job as king is to take care of your people first, and then once they're settled, you can try helping neighboring kingdoms. You don't sacrifice your people for other people. And Harold said, no, we're just gonna do it. And he doesn't even consider, like, hey, putting funds into research. Viren has to fix the problem Harold has caused for the kingdom. And he finds a way to do it, and Harold doesn't even think twice about it. He's just like, yeah, it's convenient, let's do it. The only thing that makes Harold think maybe this wasn't the best idea is because he paid some consequences for it. And he keeps doing that too. When they get the stone and the sun is rising, Viren's like, we should probably prioritize the stone because it's what's most important. And Harold's like, no, everybody's going to come back and be safe. And that's what makes Thunder attack, because they had to slowly get the stone across. Also helping him kill Thunder got him killed sometime later. They thought Zadia would surrender if they killed their king. I don't think they thought Zadia would surrender. I think they just didn't want Thunder to be a threat to any human ever again. That's what I think happened. It wasn't about Zadia, it was about Thunder. And then when they found out Thunder had an egg, they were like, wait a second. Thunder will still technically be a threat, because his egg's going to grow up to be just as powerful as him. And that's why Harold was like, okay, I guess it is kind of justified, because if we leave that egg here, our mission will have failed. Of course, Harold wanted revenge more than anything, which he got. But still, the justification was this is for humanity. And if they left the egg there, Thunder would still be a threat. Because Zim would grow up to be Thunder, basically. Like, I honestly felt for Viren when Harold just jumped and told the queens that they would help. Like, that's not a good way to run something, to just jump in like that. When you're in charge of other people. If it's just you and maybe your family, fine. But if it's a whole kingdom, like, you're basically saying, I'm going to sacrifice my people so your people can live. And that's not what the people put leaders in charge to do. You watched Big Mouth Season 4? Yeah, I haven't watched Big Mouth Season 2. I do not want to watch Big Mouth. I watched Season 1, I made the video. There's one video I might make. Because I want to compare it to another episode I saw in Tuca and Birdie. But other than that, I have no interest in Big Mouth. Alright, computer. You've made your debut. I've shown you off. But I have not watched Season 4, but I don't want to watch Big Mouth. I really don't. You think is a good idea the ghost banishment? What if a banished elf does mischief? They probably won't care. First of all, I don't even know how that works, because the elf can still, like, manipulate items in the town. So if, like, I want to go in town and be like, hey, I'm here, I would just, like, write a message on something. Like, hey, pay attention to me. I think that's a horrible punishment, because they still have a key to the town. Yeah, they didn't think that through. The writers didn't think that through. And again, I think it's so contrived how they do it. This person must have done this, so we're just going to banish them. Season 1 is cheeks. Big Mouth isn't for everyone. I don't blame you. I've already said my issues with Big Mouth. I think them just making stuff up with the hormone monster, I think they really shouldn't have done that. It's not that it has to be a super serious show. It's just that the hormone monster was what made Big Mouth stand out on its own, and they weren't consistent with it. So every time they're inconsistent with the hormone monster, everyone is taken out of the experience. It gets a little better, but BoJack and F is for Family is way better. Honestly, I have my critiques of F is for Family. I think F is for Family is really trying, which is more than I can say for a lot of shows. But Frank goes through the same problems over and over, and that's not good storytelling. If you're gonna have a character do that, there needs to be, I think, a better way of handling it than how they do it with Frank. Season 4 just ticked me off with Frank. Is it season 4? I think we're on season 4 with F is for Family. Whichever the latest season was, it just ticked me off with Frank. So I'm like, just learn some self-control. Like, freaking Susan was telling him, don't do this now. Do not do this, have this fight now. And he just had to yell at his dad in the middle of the play, embarrassing everyone. It's like, come on, how many times have you learned this lesson, Frank? What's your thought of, he's just like, Kasef. Oh, okay, he's just like Viren, but he was a legit prince. He served his role. I didn't personally like him, but he served his role in the story. Kasef, the prince from Noodlindia. Yeah, I know who he is. He served his role. I just didn't like him. That's all. Like, I didn't like anything about him. It's like, oh, if you don't go to war, we're gonna go to war with you. And this is why I couldn't have been Ezran. I'd have been like, don't sing it, bring it. I told the prince, I'd be like, oh, and so your armies will be completely withered down and you won't be able to face Zadia at all. Good luck with that. And I have the biggest army in the human realms, so you're really not going to want to kill off all my people to conquer Zadia. If you want to go to war with Zadia, fine. You gotta force me to go to war. But, you know, Ezran's a child, so how is he going to say that? Alright, guys. My stomach is making all kinds of noises. I need to eat something. So, thank you guys so much for helping me out with this. My joy is just beyond all belief. I'm so thankful for you guys helping me with this. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos I got out right now. I'm not sure when the next video will be. I will probably make a Miraculous video, in which case it could be out relatively soon. But I'm not 100% sure. And like I said, I got a lot of videos I'm working on now. This will not be used to work on videos until much later, probably February or March. But thank you guys just for stopping by. The growth on the channel recently has been fantastic. It's always great to see that happen. And I will see you guys in the next whatever it is I come up with. This has been Shady Doorags. So long. Farewell. Na Wiedersehen. Goodbye. Oh snap, this music is still playing.